Galatians 1:10 says, "Am I now trying to win the approval of human beings or of God? Or am I trying to please people? If I were still trying to please people, I would not be a servant of Christ." This verse emphasizes the importance of seeking God's approval over humans' approval. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Wide Awake. Blue Jayton here. And today I want to go over being kind versus being nice. The cost of being too nice is your future. People may like you, but those very same people, oftentimes you'll find those are the very same people that will not bet on you. Clarity wins in the long run. Respect is the currency that compounds. For example, being everybody's helper at your job, but then when promotion time comes around, your name is never at the top of the list. You have to ask yourself, am I choosing respect or am I choosing approval? The definition of nice, it describes someone who is agreeable, pleasant. To define kind describes somebody who shows consideration with genuine compassion, and often they're showing this genuine compassion without expecting anything back in return. Nice avoids conflict. Kind creates trust. Nice lives for approval. Kind creates alignment. Nice pleases. To be kind leads. I often say to myself when it comes to somebody, I want you to like me, but if you don't, I'm fine with that. And I'm very cool with the people who let me know in my face that they don't like me. It's the people who often will smile in my face and then turn around and say to A, B, C, D, and E what they really think of me. Those are the people that I am weary of. And also, this is an example. I am here to lead. I was born to lead. I'm not here to be liked. I am not here to just please. So we tend to remember people more often when we've had a negative interaction with those people. And negative experiences often trigger certain emotions, certain strong emotions like anger, frustration, or sadness. These emotions can make memory more vivid and lasting. Another psychological factor that has to do with the people that we remember we've had negative interactions with is rumination. Rumination is when you are replaying in your mind that same event, that same conversation that triggered you or that you had that experience with that person, and you're often replaying that to make sense or to figure out what exactly went wrong during the conversation. And often we do it in a way to, what did I do wrong in the conversation? So that can just lead to, beating yourself up over that conversation. So moving on, clarity, it beats comfort, and vague answers often feel polite, but they destroy trust. People don't respect when you sugarcoat things with them, right? They respect when you keep it real and you're clear about the boundary that they have disrespected. And, oftentimes, even though it's uncomfortable to have a negative interaction with somebody, sometimes you have to go through that with people to let them know that you stand on business and that you're not going to allow them to disrespect your boundaries or certain standards that you have for yourself. There's nothing wrong with letting somebody know that. And sometimes, I'll tell you, in a heartbeat, in a heartbeat, I am not a nice person. Very kind, but I am not a nice person. Nice gets you walked over. Nice gets you disrespected. And kindness without boundaries automatically equals self-destruction. It's an invitation to be used. Never say, yes too often to people, because when you say yes over and over and over again, people begin to devalue your yes. Start saying no. And it doesn't have to be a boundary that will consider, people will consider you to be cold when you place those boundaries, but they just make you credible. And when you're too nice today, that will often equal to being invisible tomorrow. Playing safe It keeps you present, but it doesn't keep you remembered. And so investors often will respect somebody that's clear. Hey, you know, this is my plan. This is where it could go wrong. This is that. But if you're just being too nice and trying to get, you know, they'll pick up on that if they're smart. And so an example would, you know, being at work and saying yes to certain roles, certain low impact work, while others are awarded the growth roles where they're getting that experience that's getting them to grow out of the roles that they're doing the work in, versus you just keep doing the same work, same job. You know what I mean? So stop avoiding conflict, because in the long run, it's going to cost you authority. And people pleasing, it'll win you the smiles, but it won't win you respect. And authority comes from courage, not comfort, which is why more of us need to respect people who are in authority, like police officers, correctional officers, people who have stature and have worked for those positions and done the training and done the work to be in those positions so that they have the authority, not the people who power trip and just because they have the titles think that they are effective leaders because they're in that position, okay? Because often, I know you've heard this, the saying that we meet kings and Hondas and peasants who are in Benzes. I mean, that is a very real thing. So nodding yes to a decision, that's an example when you secretly disagree with that decision. So, you know, say your truth, say one truth this week, even if it causes tension. That is where I will conclude the lesson, kind of on limited timing. Again, you can reach me at Explore Your Internal World. My name is Blue Jayton. I thank you for tuning in with us, Wide Awake, and we'll see you next time. God bless.